Indonesia.
Please also give a good welcome to Laos.
Next, please welcome Singapore.
And also please welcome Thailand. Last one?
No. Next, please welcome the mentor of Timor-Leste.
And last but not least, please welcome
His Excellency, what should I put? The mentor of Vietnam.
Okay, so as a reminder, this meeting will be recorded. One, for our fellow delegates in Siem Reap who cannot join the meeting, they can view this, but also for you guys as reference if you need a refresher on actual, like how to call for the motions and how it actually work, you can re-watch this at a little time and we will share with you the video as well. Without any further ado, the chair, Malaysia, you can start.
The meeting. The meeting may now come into order. Good morning and selamat pagi to all delegates. As this year's chairman, the delegation of the Federation of Malaysia is honored to chair the 46th ASEAN Summit and related meetings. This is the 9th ASEAN Ministerial Meeting on Drugs Matter, AMMD, which is convened in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia today to discuss the issue of combating drug trafficking in pursuance of a drug-free ASEAN. Now the chair would like to conduct a roll call. The delegate who is called upon shall raise their placard and answer present. His Excellency, the Deputy Minister of Security and Law of Brunei Darussalam.
Present.
Thank you, Brunei Darussalam. His Excellency, the Minister of Interior of the Kingdom of Cambodia. Her Excellency. His Excellency, the Minister of Law and Human Rights of the Republic of Indonesia.
Present.
Thank you. Her Excellency, the Minister of Public Security of the Lao People's Democratic Republic.
Present.
Thank you. His Excellency, the Chairman of Dangerous Drugs Board of the Republic of the Philippines.
Present.
Thank you. His Excellency, the Minister of Home Affairs of the Republic of Singapore.
Present.
Thank you. His Excellency, the Minister of Justice of the Kingdom of Thailand.
Present.
Her Excellency, the Minister of Justice of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste.
Present.
And lastly, His Excellency, the Minister of Public Security of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam.
Present.
Thank you, delegates. Before we move on to reviewing the draft resolution presented today, the Chairman and Delegate of the Federation of Malaysia representing the delegation of Malaysia in its personal capacity, would like to take a moment to deliver a short statement. Selamat pagi, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen of ASEAN. It is an honor to address you on a critical issue of drug trafficking across ASEAN. Malaysia is a nation that has thrived politically and economically for nearly 50 years, but it continues to face grave challenges of drug trafficking. Our geographical proximity to the Golden Triangle makes us a prime target for this illicit trade, impacting both our youth and our society at large. In December 2020, we intercepted 2 tons of crystal methamphetamine, highlighting the consistent threat that we face. Our government has implemented stringent measures, including severe penalties for traffickers, to combat this menace. However, we recognize that this is not a battle that we alone can win. We call upon, as the chairman, all ASEAN member states to join in a united front. By sharing vital information, launching awareness campaigns, and strengthening our naval security forces, we can collectively work towards eradicating drug trafficking in the region. Together, let us commit to safeguarding our communities and ensuring a safer, drug-free future for all. Thank you. Terima kasih banyak. And now the chair would like to give the floor to any honorable delegates who would wish to provide comments, remarks, suggestions, or concerns.
Please speak through the microphone and turn it on.
The delegation of Delegates, please keep your placards raised. The delegation of Timor-Leste, the delegation of Vietnam, the delegation of Thailand, the delegation of Cambodia, the delegation of Indonesia, and the delegation of Laos. You have been recognized in that specific order. Delegation of Timor-Leste, you may now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your recognition. Honorable Chairman, Excellencies, distinguished delegate, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste to address this critical issue today in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, with esteemed member state as we reaffirm our shared commitment for a drug-free ASEAN. Drug trafficking is a transnational challenge that undermines the stability of our society, weakens public health systems, and robs countless individuals of their potentials, especially our youth. Our nation recognizes the gravity of this issue, particularly given our strategic location, which exposes us to the risk of being a transit route for the illicit drug trade. Our partnerships with ASEAN member states and international organizations, such as International Criminal Police Organization, have been invaluable in advancing this cause. As an observer state, Timor-Leste stands ready to learn and contribute to this shared mission for the safety of our people and the prosperity of our region, our nation, for our citizens. Thank you. This delegate would like to yield the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, the Minister for Timor-Leste. Now, the Minister for Vietnam, you've been recognized.
Thank you, Your Excellency Chair. Firstly, let the delegates of Vietnam begin by expressing our sincere thanks to Excellent Chair for very warm hospitality present to our delegates. The delegates of Vietnam also wish to congratulate the La PO for your successful ASEAN Championship last year and Malaysia on assuming the ASEAN Championship of 2025. The delegates of Vietnam certain that under your capable leadership will guide ASEAN toward a more significant achievement this year and beyond. Colleagues, today we gather here not just to reaffirm our commitments, but to act decisively against the rising of drug trafficking that threatens our society, economy, and security. Vietnam recognizes the profound social, economic, and security consequences posed by drug trafficking organizations, and we are determined to collaborate closely with all member states to confront these challenges head-on. Despite our efforts, drug trafficking continues to undermine the stability and prosperity of Southeast Asia. Vietnam, with its extensive border shared with Laos, Cambodia, and China, is particularly vulnerable, and these challenges demand a united and strategic ASEAN response. Today's meeting is more crucial than ever before as we gather to discuss and find solutions to ensure that ASEAN becomes the drug-free regional bloc. Distinguished delegates, Vietnam would like to reiterate that to become a drug-free ASEAN is not a distant aspiration, but a collective goal within our reach. By enhancing collaboration and addressing root causes, we can ensure a safer and more prosperous region for all. In these connections, Vietnam is ready to lead, support, and innovate in this vital mission. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, the Minister for Vietnam. In its sovereign capacity, Malaysia would like to thank Vietnam for its kind remarks. In its chairman capacity, the chair would like to remind all delegates to keep their opening remarks to between 1 minute and 1 minute 30 seconds for the sake of time. Now the chairman recognizes the Minister for Thailand.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your recognitions. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen of ASEAN. On behalf of the Kingdoms of Thailand, we are honored to address these gatherings as we unite to tackle one of the ASEAN most pressing challenges, combating drug trafficking organizations in our shared visions, our drug-free region. Drug trafficking undermines our security, destroys lives, and threatens the future of our community. These organizations exploit vulnerabilities, crossing borders, and showing harms across nations, and no countries can overcome these threats alone. And therefore, we must strengthen our collective efforts to eradicate these menace at its root. Thailand's belief in comprehensive and balanced approach. We must work together to enhance border security, improve intelligence sharing mechanisms, and support region enforcement operations. Equally, we must prioritize preventions by addressing the social and economic factors that makes community susceptible to drugs. Education, employment opportunity, and awareness campaigns are essential tools in this fight. Moreover, rehabilitation and reintegration remains at the heart of our strategies, and those affected by drug addictions deserve a pathway to recovery and hope, not as punishments. Let us stand united in building an ASEAN where our people are safe, our community thrive, and the devastating curse of drug trafficking organizations is finally broken. Together, we can achieve this. And thank you, Chair. We would like to yield the floor to the Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, the Minister for Thailand. Now the Chair recognizes the Minister for Cambodia.
Thank you, Chair, for the recognition. Honorable Chairman, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Kingdom of Cambodia, we would like to express our appreciation for this opportunity to address a matter that is of critical importance to our region. Drug trafficking has become one of the most pressing challenges we face as a community, threatening not only our public health and safety, but also the stability of our nation. Cambodia remains committed to advancing prevention and programs to those affected by drug abuse. Together, let us renew our commitment to this shared goal and continue our cooperation in the fight against drug trafficking. I would like to pass the floor back to Chair.
Thank you, the Minister for Cambodia. Now the Chair would like to recognize the Minister for the Republic of Indonesia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the recognition. So, Selamat pagi, good morning, Mr. Chairman, esteemed delegates, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, Indonesia wants to congratulate the Laos People's Democratic Republic for their successful chairmanship last year and the Federative Republic of Malaysia for assuming chairmanship for this year's ASEAN meeting. On today's agenda, the Republic of Indonesia would like to express our gratitude for the opportunity to address this critical issue today. The fight against drug trafficking is not only a matter of national security, but also a challenge that transcends border, affecting the health, safety, and well-being of our people. As an ASEAN community, we must unite in our resolve to combat drug trafficking organizations that exploit our region for illegal gains. Indonesia remains committed to working closely with our ASEAN partners in sharing intelligence, strengthening law enforcement collaboration, and enhancing prevention and rehabilitation efforts. Together, we can dismantle these transnational criminal networks and create a safer, drug-free ASEAN for our future generations. Terima kasih banyak. Thank you. And we would like to give the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, the Republic of Indonesia. And in its sovereign capacity, we would like to also thank the Republic of Indonesia for its welcoming of the chairmanship of Malaysia. Now, the delegation, the Minister for the Laos People's Democratic Republic has been recognized.
Thank you, Chairman, for the recognition. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, honorable leaders, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Laos People's Democratic Republic, it is a great honor to address this gathering under the ASEAN Political Security Community pillar to tackle a challenge that knows no boundaries, to combat drug trafficking organizations in our shared pursuit of drug-free ASEAN. The illicit drug trade undermines not only the safety but also security of our communities and the stabilities of our economies and the future of our youth. These criminal networks exploit our vulnerabilities, make it imperative that we respond with unwavering resolve, collective action, and innovative strategies. Laos has long demonstrated its unwavering commitment to this cause through its National Drug Control Master Plan and cross-border initiatives with neighboring countries. Laos has taken proactive steps in disrupt illicit drug networks, strengthen law enforcement capacities, and raise awareness about the dangers of drug abuse and continue to do so. Today, as we focus on these critical issues under the ASEAN Political Security Community pillar, let us reaffirm our commitment to safeguarding the security of our region through enhanced cooperation, intelligence sharing, and proactive enforcement measures. Together, we can foster an ASEAN where every citizen can thrive in a society free from the grips of illicit drugs. Let this meeting be a beacon of hope and testament to the power of cooperation as we take steps to secure a brighter, safer, and drug-free future for our region. Thank you. The delegate of Laos would like to yield the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Lao PDR. Please be reminded to keep your opening remarks and all statements between 1 minute and 1 minute 30 seconds. Now the chairman would like to ask, are there any other delegates who would like to give opening remarks or any type of statement? The Minister for Brunei Darussalam has been recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The Minister for Brunei, please hold that button. Thank you.
Thank you. Selamat pagi, distinguished delegate, esteemed college and honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is our great honor that Brunei Darussalam stand before you today to reaffirm our commitment to foster a green economy and be concerned over drug trafficking. Brunei Darussalam recognizes that the potential harmful of the drug trafficking has been a huge concern in our ASEAN region. So we urgently and opt for humanitarian crisis assistance in response to the ongoings as well. However, Brunei Darussalam also acknowledged that the meaningful of the progress cannot be achieved in isolation, but ASEAN as a whole. So, therefore, Brunei Darussalam stand ready to collaboration with all ASEAN member states to address these issues and the challenge through unity, strategic action, and unwavering commitment. Together, we can build a more resilient, inclusive, and sustainable ASEAN. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Thank you, the Minister for Brunei Darussalam. Now the chair would like to pass this meeting forward to give the floor to Deputy Secretary General of MAMA.
Okay, hello. Short break. Okay. Okay. So this is how you start the minister meeting. So this is a ministerial meeting, not an HOG meeting, and opening remarks are separate from opening statements and opening speeches. Right? Opening remarks starts before the reading and the going through the chairman's statement. Delegates are forced to make opening remarks, but they are encouraged which
Highly
means
encouraged.
yes, which means most of the time everyone give a speech. But you know, if you don't want to, you don't feel like it, you don't have to. But very, very encouraged, and this is the task of the special envoy because they will be the first one to go through the draft chairman statement and highly recommended by the academic team. Prepare one in advance, give it to your mentors, they will check it, and then when the actual start of the going through the draft chairman statement, you can present one. Plus, there will be a separate opening speeches at a separate time, but this is just for opening remarks. Let's resume.
Thank you, Deputy Secretary General Mama. Now, the chair would like to resume the meeting according to the agenda. Seeing that there are no more further statements by any delegates within this meeting, the chair would now like to proceed with reading the draft chairman's statement in its entirety. The chair would only read the statement with the first page and then the last page. So just assume that we read the entire document at the same time. Okay. The chair would now like to get back to the reading. Okay. Draft Chairman's Statement of 9th ASEAN Ministers Meeting on Drugs, 25th, 26th of February 2025 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Combating drug trafficking organizations in pursuance of a drug-free ASEAN. We, ASEAN ministers responsible for drug matters and heads of delegation of Brunei Darussalam, the Kingdom of Cambodia, the Republic of Indonesia, the Laos People's Democratic Republic, the Malaysian Federation, the Republic of the Philippines, the Republic of Singapore, the Socialist Republic, the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, the Kingdom of Thailand, and the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, Timor-Leste as an observer state, gathered together on the 25th and 26th of February 2023 in Jakarta, in Kuala Lumpur, Federation of Malaysia, for the 9th ASEAN Ministers Meeting on Drugs. The chair would just like to note for the ASEAN Secretariat to just make the appropriate changes so that we can move on. Okay. First one, fulfilling our commitment to a drug-free ASEAN in order to prevail in the fight against illicit drug trafficking organizations and maintain a safer society for citizens of all member states, all pursuant to ASEAN's broader goal of maintaining and enhancing peace, security, and stability in the region. Second, fully aware that drug trafficking is an organized crime, threatening state authority, increasing violence, taxes, crimes, and corruption, requiring our dedication and commitment to regularly monitor and implement all policies and initiatives coordinated through all member states. 3. Cognizance that ASEAN member states remain to have concern about international drug trafficking, which in addition to the pain they inflict on the people, especially the young. Please move, ASEAN Secretary, please scroll down. Especially the young, the illicit drug use and trafficking regime that damage the social cohesion of countries, constitute direct and indirect financial costs to governments, and involve an illegal activity that can undermine state stability. 4th, recognizing strategies that provide a comprehensive framework for prosecuting and punishing offenders while taking a compassionate approach to drug use by victims, by encouraging voluntary treatment and rehabilitation, is above and beyond what previous federal drug policies have attempted to do. Chart a complete future course to increase emphasis on addressing equity, a long-standing issue in drug policy that have an impact on both public health and public safety. ASEAN Secretary, please move to the last page. Now we will be moving on to the operative statements. The previous were the preambulatory statements. These with number 8. Operative statement number 8, operative clause number 8. Support all ASEAN member states to supply important and most recent information about street-level drug selling and adopt daily advertising campaigns on the dangers of drug abuse and harsh outcomes of drug traffickers using primary mediums of information such as social media, mass media, and periodicals. 9th, request for law enforcement frameworks, task forces, and working groups such as the ASEAN Cooperation Plan to tackle illicit drug production and trafficking in the Golden Triangle 2020 to 2022 to robustly prevent the cooperation of transnational criminal organizations, TCOs, and their syndicates in exploiting the situation to elicit more illegal drugs into ASEAN. Operative clause number 10, propose that ASEAN member states come together and reinforce a border restriction by thoroughly checking each passenger with modern, up-to-date monitoring equipment and implementing surveillance cameras at borders to fight back against drug trafficking within the ASEAN countries. 11. Seek that all ASEAN member countries' ministries of health legalize some drugs that can be used for health benefits. However, they should cooperate with related ministries to develop tracking software in order to keep track of consumers in order to prevent illegal purchases or overconsumption. The following solutions are: A. Set up a client management app or website which require clients to register with their national identity passport before making purchases of any substances. B. Have the app or website to keep track of the client's purchasing of any substances in order to better anticipate the client's purchasing the exact amounts by the Ministry of Health. C. Formulate and reinforce an ASEAN joint law or policy on using these substances to regulate purchases, which, if consumers fail to buy it, must face severe punishment. 12. Urge the establishment of security forces Navy led by coastal states from other ASEAN states. To achieve this, all ASEAN Navy forces must put their utmost effort into collaboration and fully allow for situations that immediate action can take place whenever there is a need for Navy support. And Secretary, is there any more? No, that concludes the draft chairman's statement. Thank you, the delegates, for listening. Now the chair would now like to move from each class for review by this committee. So on the first operative class, fulfilling our commitment to a drug-free ASEAN in order to prevail in the fight against.
Oh, Priya.
Thank you, ASEAN Secretariat, for reminding the chair. The chair had erred in making a mistake. Now the chair would just move to the operative class instead. On the operative class 1, encourage strong cooperation among the member states to combat illegal drug trafficking and provide education towards drug prevention activities to youth and citizens through training and campaigns that focus on sharing drug prevention knowledge alongside the consequences of drug usage and handling, as well as virtual or physical peer discussion that allow input from both local and experts to formulate solutions that encompass different aspects of illicit drug offenses. These activities should be conducted every 6 months to maintain consistency and maximize the effectiveness of awareness of illicit drug research. The chairman would now like to open the floor for any delegates who wishes to make any remarks, statements upon this operative class. Is there any delegates who would like to make a statement? Yes, the delegate of Timor-Leste, you have been recognized.
Thank you, Chairman, for your precise recognitions. Although combating effort and security is very crucial to this issue, Timor believes that prevention strategy is very, very important to save the potential of our citizens, especially our youth. Timor would like to raise 2 critical points to this clause. First, raising awareness through mass media. Education is a very valuable tool that would save many potentials of our citizens. Second, outcome evaluations to ensure that our endless efforts to this clause and to this solution has not gone to waste. Evaluation is very crucial to ensure the effectiveness, as we propose the 6-month evaluation so that the durations of the solution would actually have enough data to evaluate the effectiveness of this strategy. Lastly, Timor would like to urge all member states to support this clause to protect the potential of our citizens. Timor would like to yield the floor back to Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, the Minister for Timor-Leste. The chair recognizes that the Minister for Timor-Leste has supported this statement and it's actually the sponsor. So the chair believes that Timor-Leste has nothing against this clause. Is there any delegates who have objections or statements they would like to make regarding operative clause 1? Seeing that there are no objections, the chair considered this clause in consensus and would now like to move on to the second operative clause. Madam Secretariat, please reflect that. Now for the second operative clause, task the Ministries of Education from all ASEAN member states to promote awareness through educational campaigns across the region, aiming to build the resilience of young people against drugs and convey to communities the impacts of drugs on the at-risk groups. The educational campaign can be undertaken under the plan A. Further cooperation of each member state's Ministry of Education to seek fruitful solutions regarding the issues. A. To achieve a better method to equip the public, especially young people, with awareness of drug trafficking. B. Encourage all educational institutions in ASEAN to host public training seminars and workshops related to drug prevention, legal assistance, drug treatment, or rehabilitation, both locally and regionally. This mechanism can extend ASEAN member countries' efforts to combat transnational crime, including the use of narcotics and trafficking in illegal drugs, from the national to bilateral levels to the regional dimension and second regional commitment and capacity. The chair believes that this, speaking in terms of its sovereign capacity, the chair believes that this statement is well written by the Minister for Vietnam, and the chair would like to extend its thanks to the Minister of Vietnam for this clause. Now the chair would like to open up the floor if there are any remarks regarding this clause at all. Seeing that there are no remarks, going once, going twice, the chair would now like to consider this clause in consensus and move to operative clause 3. The chair will now read the operative clause 3. Call upon all member states to extend the awareness of the harms of possession, consumption, and trafficking of drugs in both urban and rural areas through the raising of national campaigns and under the guise of the UN Commission on Narcotic Drugs, CND, and other related bodies to expand network and effectiveness in fighting drug trafficking issues. And further request is to educate and strengthen the resilience of youth to stay drug free. The chairman would now like to open the floor if any delegates would like to make statements, would like to state their objections, or if any of this support for this statement, for this operative clause 3. The Minister for Thailand has been recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for your recognitions. The delegates of Thailand we strongly support this clause in our stance, which emphasizes the extending awareness of harm and drug possession, consumptions, and trafficking in both urban and rural areas through national campaign. This clause is essential for achieving a drug-free Asians as it's directly addressed the root of the issues, awareness and education, particularly amongst the most vulnerable groups, is our youth. Drug trafficking accusations thrive on ignorance, misinformations, and the lack of the preventive education. By raising national campaign under the guidance of the established frameworks such as the UN Commission of Narcotics Drugs, we can leverage global expertise while tailoring our efforts to the region context. So such campaigns do not merely inform, but serve as a critical tool for fostering resilient community and empowering individuals, particularly young people, to make informed, drug-free choice. Education to the youth is especially vital as they are the future custodian of the Asian stability and prosperity. Thailand recognizes the importance of instilling awareness early and providing young people with the tools to resist peer pressure, understand the consequences of drug use, and serve as a role model for their peers. We would like to yield the floor back to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you, the Minister for Thailand. The chair would now like to ask, are there any objections on this clause? Seeing that there are no objections, Madam Secretary, please reflect that. We are in consensus. Now the chair would like to move on to the next operative clause number 4. But for the sake of brevity, the chair would like to consider this clause already read. So the chair would now like to ask, are there any delegates who wish to make comments on this clause? The delegate for the Minister of Indonesia and the Minister of Laos, you've been recognized in the exact order. Please make your speech relatively short.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the recognition. So Indonesia, first of all, would like to commend Brunei Darussalam for proposing this clause in today's meeting. So we strongly support the imposing of heavy tax regulations and limiting tobacco imports in our markets today. This will ensure our people will have limited access to these harmful substances and also cutting down its usage and sale in our respective societies. Indonesia believes that it is a first and also an important step towards a drug-free society for ASEAN, beneficial for us all here today and our future generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, the Minister for Indonesia. The Minister for Laos, you have been recognized.
Thank you, Chair, for the recognition. Firstly, this delegate of Laos would like to strongly support this statement, the clause from Brunei. However, this delegate would like to, the delegate of Brunei to address some concern. Although the licensed tobacco imports are for certain purpose and or for sacred rituals in some culture, how can we ensure that the tobacco is not used for drugs? Wouldn't that license import contradict our pursuit of drug-free ASEAN? Thank you. I would like to pass the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, the Minister for Laos. Is there any other delegate who would like to make comments? The Minister for Vietnam, you've been recognized.
Thank you, your honorable chair, esteemed delegates. Vietnam.
Order.
Vietnam acknowledges the importance of addressing public health concerns related to tobacco use. However, we believe the proposed approach, namely raising tobacco costs above the minimum wage and increasing import tariff, poses significant economic challenges that must be overlooked. First, increasing tax and restricting tobacco import could have severe economic consequences, especially for industry in Asian nations that rely on tobacco trade. For countries like Vietnam, where tobacco farming and local production play a crucial role in the economy and livelihood of many, this measure could lead to job losses and economic instability. Furthermore, while limiting accessibility is a valid goal, we must consider the unintended consequences of such regulations, including the potential growth of illegal tobacco markets, which could harder to be controlled and might even increase the risk that we are trying to mitigate. Smuggling and black markets drive even legal options become too costly or restrictive on these methods. Vietnam advocates for a more balanced approach, one that combines education, stronger public health campaigns, and support for alternative livelihoods of those dependent on the tobacco industry. We believe such strategy will more effectively protect vulnerable groups without undermining economic stability or encouraging illegal trade. Thank you.
Thank you, the Minister for Vietnam. Seeing that there is currently an impasse and disagreement between the delegates, the Chairman would like to now propose a motion for mediation between the Republic of Indonesia and the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Is there any delegates that object to this motion? Going once, going twice. This motion has been passed. Please, other delegates other than Vietnam and Indonesia, exit the committee room.
Okay, so commentary part 2. In this case, mediation has been called, and seeing as there's no objections, the mediation will take place. The ministers from the respective country will remain in the meeting room, and all other delegates, including the secretariat, will leave the discussion room, and there should be only 3 people in the discussion. The chair, in this case, Laos and Indonesian. So please, all ministers exit the table. Yes, other than Indonesia, Vietnam, and Malaysia.
Delegates, just please stand to the side for now. You're gonna be going back to your seat in a bit. Okay.
So, Indonesia and Vietnam, please start talking.
Wait, once again, this is a mediation.
So the chair would have the floor in order to try to mediate. So, Indonesia, what is your primary? Vietnam, what's your primary objection to this?
The objective of this clause seems so limited and very effective to our domestic economies and international market as well. So in this case, it's not better than leave those any solution like raising the minimum wage, the prices or imposing a heavy tax should be based on individual countries rather than ASEAN as a whole.
Okay, thank you. Indonesia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Indonesia believe that even if it's very harmful to the market, Indonesia believe that it is more harmful to our public health if we were to allow this tobacco to be freely on the market. So Indonesia believe that sure, even if let's say smoker might find alternative or there might be a black market, but the overall goal here is to minimize smoking related harm, especially if it's caused by traditional cigarette, right? Just because other smoking alternative exists doesn't mean that we should just or the black market exists doesn't mean that we should sit back and do nothing. So that is why we believe that this is a first step towards a drug-free ASEAN for Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay. Before you respond, Vietnam, I believe that you do have a big like tobacco industry, and that's why your concern is well like received. But we believe that we need to be united. Some member states need to make some sacrifices and compromise. If, for example, it means well to you, then maybe like in terms of this, like the specific number, we can come to a negotiation later. But in principle, I think Vietnam should agree and should not, be a big like opposer to such a tax because it's already been implemented everywhere. And if smokers want to smoke, they will smoke.
In this regards, Vietnam also concerned regarding to the imposing of heavy tax regulation could be another way of increasing the drug use as well. Since the tobacco price might be higher than drugs, so people can be changed to use drugs instead.
Minister, I believe if it becomes more expensive, then people will not be using it, would it not?
If people addicted.
If people are addicted, so it causes more harm as well.
Yes.
Okay, then I think we can address it in later programs. I think we also mentioned the chair has already drafted in here as well, that specifically targets how we can rehabilitate and educate people and take them out of the cycle. Because in any case, just because you tax people more, let's say addicted people will keep using it. But then it's true for all sides unless you tackle the root cause, which this one is trying to tackle too, just by making it a bit more expensive for people to take it. Sure, they will still take it, but I believe that in this case, Indonesia has merit. Indonesia, do you have anything? If not, then we can end this mediation. I believe you're already at an agreement. Vietnam, do you have something?
In this case, the delegates of Vietnam would like to escalate this clause to the summit.
Indonesia, any response?
Indonesia believes that this class doesn't need to be escalated. We believe that we can settle it here.
For the sake of time, since the mediation it's supposed to only last about 5 minutes, I believe it's almost 5 minutes now. The chair would now like to just reconvene this meeting, and the chair would just like to go with Vietnam's proposal of escalation so that HOG can talk about it. Okay, both delegates, are you okay for reconvention of the meeting?
Fully concur.
Okay, thank you.
Imagine this is a council meeting. Okay, delegates, please go back to.
Welcome back, delegates. The chair would now like to just recap a bit of the mediation that occurred between the chair and Indonesia and Vietnam. Indonesia and Vietnam have shared differing views on whether this clause is of great importance, and especially because of the monetary tax might not be effective but actually harming the domestic industries of member states. The chair has received 2 distinct proposals, one from the delegate of Vietnam to escalate this clause to the summit, and the second to settle it now. The chair believes that in the interest of time and also in productivity of this council session, for the clause to be escalated. Are there any objections to this escalation? Are there any objections, delegates, to this escalation? Okay, seeing that there is no objection, this clause is considered escalated to the summit. Please reflect that as in secretary. Okay, now the chair would like to, in the interest of time, move on to clause 7. Consider clause 5th and 6th already discussed. Now in clause 7, for clause 7, the chair would now like to just briefly read it. Stress that member states in the Golden Triangle area, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, and Myanmar, and beyond continue to take proactive measures through pre-existing knowledge sharing. Are there any delegates who wish to make comments on this clause? Delegates who wish to make comments on this clause, please make your comments. The Minister for Law has been recognized.
Thank you, Chair, for the recognition. Although this delegate have some question towards Indonesia and Cambodia, who the clause. Could the clause only stating the member state in the Golden Triangle, such as Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, and Myanmar, could this lead to a misinterpretation that other countries besides Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, and Myanmar relinquish of their responsibilities regarding the proactive preventions and also knowledge sharing? Thank you. I would like to, this delegate would like to pass the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, the Minister for Laos. The chairman would now like to entertain more motions, remarks, or objections by delegates. The Minister for Cambodia has been recognized.
Thank you, Chair, for the precise recognition. The delegate of the Kingdom of Cambodia would like to call for a retreat since knowledge sharing through pre-existing framework has already shown its potential. However, to further solidify the foundation of our cooperation, this retreat would provide a timely opportunity to discuss how we can build upon this existing mechanism to enhance their effectiveness, especially when comes to pre-existing framework. It is a matter of a concern to the relevance of today and forward for the pre-existing framework. We would like to pass the floor back to you.
Thank you, the Kingdom of Cambodia. The chair would now like to note that the Kingdom of Cambodia has proposed a motion for a retreat to discuss this topic with the head of governments of each countries coming in to discuss. The chair believes that this motion is merited because delegates seem to have differing views upon whether we should stress about the Golden Triangle area or not. Are there any objections to this motion proposed by the Kingdom of Cambodia for retreat? Seeing that there are no objections, the chair would now like to consider this meeting adjourned temporarily for a retreat.
Okay, so commentary part 3. So the motion for retreat has passed, meaning that please, respective HOG for your country, please come into the room. The ministers, please exit the room for the HOG to discuss this matter among HOGs. So please, HOG, please come to the front. And ministers, please exit the table / meetings.
Wait.
Oh, also, because HOGs do not, they aren't aware of the discussion being discussed in the room. Ministers, once you leave the table, please approach HOG to inform them about the content of the discussion and where the discussion cut off. Because HOG won't be aware of what was actually said. So, mentors, please find HOGs and HOG, please come to the front.
So clause 7 is emphasizing including right now, Laos and probably Cambodia and Vietnam are kind of like his, they just want to try to help other areas. So yeah. So this is not, I don't think it's not that big of an issue, especially like just being petty. If you want, then just say about the Golden Triangle and Malaysia. Joke.
Please briefly, please end the briefing now. Please come to your seats and we can resume the schedule. Yeah, just sit in your seat, act like you know what's going on.
What's the issue at hand, exactly?
Okay, so since all the HOGs are assembled now, now the floor will be back to the chair, HOG. So they will continue to brief what happened and what is the matter we discussed, and then they will open the floor to all delegates. Yeah.
Okay. The chair would like to call to resume the
start the retreat. Since the chair has been briefed by the minister that there has been such an escalation on particular clauses, operating clause 7, which is concerning the Golden Triangle area. So the chair would like to open the floor to the conflicted states to express their concern.
Okay, retreat over. Thank you all HOGs for attending. Ministers, please get back to your seat.
Okay, là vì quan trọng lắm ấy, xong vậy like cancel của parliamentary procedure. Không mà đấy, like for retreat nè, it's only informal, so you do not need to use parliamentary procedure. You can just come in like Vietnam. Why are you being so stubborn about this? And something like that. Like it's about in like ASEAN, it's very informal. It's only formal doing when you're actually having like in convening the session. But then when it comes to suspension, when it comes to retreat, when it comes to those things, like even mediation, we don't need to use parliamentary procedure because they're closed door meeting. This is open door. Okay? So just to be clear on that, make sure everyone understands. And then make sure that HOG, when they come in, they get briefed by their ministers about what's going on, and then they can just talk, like no need to recognize anyone. And then second is that for HOGs that are gonna leave the meeting, I believe they should also tell the delegates what have they decided, and also tell the secretariat. For example, the HOG just agree that, let's just escalate it, and then the ministers don't have power. Because remember, the head of governments ultimately have the power to decide. So the head of governments all agree that ministers can't be like, oh, we don't want to, we want to backtrack. Okay. The chair would now like to reconvene the meeting. Seeing that the retreat has ended from our HOGs, the HOGs have presumptively agreed to escalate this clause, so this has been considered escalated. Okay. The chair would now like to move on to operative clause 12. So for operative clause 12, it reads, urge the establishment of a security force using a navy led by coastal states with support from other ASEAN states. To achieve this, all ASEAN Navy forces must put their utmost efforts into collaboration and be fully alarmed of the situation so that the immediate action can take place wherever there is need for Navy support. The chairman, in its sovereign capacity as the Federation of Malaysia and sponsor for this clause, would like to state that the naval cooperation of states, which is exemplified by this clause, is of the utmost importance because drug trafficking, although occurring mostly in the Golden Triangle, are trafficked across sea lanes. And as such, there are differing jurisdictions when it comes to the Strait of Malacca and when it comes to choke points like the Strait of John Moore. So in these cases, it must be noted that ASEAN navies need to work together to make sure that we actually have the crucial assistance that's needed. So the chairman would like to now open the floor for any delegates wishing to make remarks on this clause. The Minister of Timor-Leste has been recognized.
Thank you, Chair, for your recognition. Although this delegate acknowledged the benefits that the delegate of Malaysia has been raised of the Navy support and effort, although Timor is disagree and actually would like to request for the amendment to the clause 12 to be struck. Two reasons here. Firstly, the Navy support of the ASEAN current state right now is very imbalanced between each nation. For example, Malaysia would have the capacity, although Timor or other member state would have a lagging in Navy force, and this would cause to the second impact of the imbalance of the efforts that would cause biasness into further future. That is why Timor would like to request to striking this clause and would like to urge all member states to support on this motion as well. For that being said, this delegate would like to yield the floor back to Chairman.
In the chairman capacity, we would like to thank Timor-Leste for that statement. In our sovereign capacity, the chair would like to respond. The chair believes that even though certain states may not have adequate resources at enforcing a naval support in terms of stopping drug trades, the crucial states of Singapore, the crucial states of Indonesia and Malaysia and the Philippines itself still exercise a large navy that can be used at this disposal. However, the chair believes that this is more easily explainable and negotiated through a suspension. Therefore, the chair would like to call upon a suspension of today's meeting for a period of 5 minutes to discuss on this operative clause 12. Are there any delegates in objection to this motion by the chair? Seeing that there is none, the chair now calls upon a 5-minute suspension.
Okay, so suspension, if you remember, is to informally discuss the matter. So ministers are allowed to leave the chair and talk. In this case, since Timor and Malaysia are in contention, they can meet each other and discuss each other. All the other ministers can also roam around and it's an informal discussion.
Okay, thank you. By the way, HOG can enter the room. Anyone can leave and enter. It's basically like a break, but you can still discuss. Okay.
Timor-Leste, respectfully, you're not even a member state. We're gonna finance your navy. Okay, we're gonna finance some of it. Alright? As long as you support it, okay? Like, we don't even need your vote here because you're still an observer state. But we still need your principal vote. Like, Indonesia, can you back me up on this? Like,
No, bro.
Philippines don't not tonight.
Laos is a landlocked country. They only operate on the Mekong River. We do not have.
Respectfully, your voice does not matter in this case. No, guys. Sorry, that's not.
We set a really bad example here.
Sorry, this is just for dramatic purposes. You do not talk to them like that. Even if you can be informal, that's a bit like kind of undiplomatic. Okay?
Straight up rude.
But okay.
Ahmed would like to flag the delegate of Malaysia. It's very unparliamentary language.
Yeah, but like basically there should not be any flagging because this is not parliamentary procedure anymore. But be respectful. The admins, the academics team will note you if you are being like me right now, and they will not let you be best delegate.
Yes, there is unparliamentary roast on the delegates.
Hey, I'm not roasting you.
Inclusivity.
Okay, yeah, but all right. So Lao, as long as we help you with a bit of funding in your.
Right. But just a little point here, right? This is for Navy support, for literally military support. If you support on this motion, it would further escalate the military power. For example, South China Sea would escalate even more if you enforce this military operation. That is why Timor would like to strike this clause as a whole in general. Period.
Indonesia.
Navy power to help you with the drug trafficking.
Oh, Philippines is backing me. Okay.
No, we're not. Because we're losing Navy power to deal with the dispute of the South China Sea.
Guys, Timor-Leste brought up like a very valid point, okay? If we build up our navy, that might escalate. But remember, we are ASEAN. We are one vision, one community, one ASEAN. Okay, ASEAN centrality is at the core. If we are afraid of China, what does that make us? And look, this.
That is why that the Malaysia delegate has raised is pretty much to escalate
No.
the South China Sea dispute to escalate even more.
How about building the Navy force might against the drug trafficking? It might escalate other problems.
Right.
If we approach China, we become poor.
Respectfully, Indonesia, as our fellow
Malay brother, I would like to ask you, in order to know that your interest is not only to China but also to Indonesia, to ASEAN as a whole. The ASEAN Secretariat is located where?
Indonesia.
Republic of Indonesia. Would like to respond to that comment?
No.
Okay, so all right, my Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. In this case, right, we need to take a stance, and this is not aimed at just basically fighting or opposing China. We just want to stop traffickers here. Unless you delegates, sorry, unless this committee's delegate is insinuating that the drug traffickers are Chinese, then that would be an issue. Are you insinuating that Indonesia or the Philippines? Okay, seeing that the time is up, the chair would now like to reconvene this meeting. Please go back to your respective seats. Okay. That was a very contentious class, as we can all say. The chair would now like to reconvene the meeting. The chair now would like to ask, are there any delegates who are in objection to this class? Please raise your flag. In this amendment, the chair would now like to entertain Timor-Leste amendment to strike this clause. The chair would like to ask, are there any delegates who are in support of this amendment? Yes. Yes, in terms of striking the clause. The chair recognizes that the chairman, in its sovereign capacity, stands alone in this case. However, this chairman would now like to just accept that this chairman's clause cannot be added into the chairman's statement, and this clause is therefore stricken from the DCS. Thank you, delegates, and in its sovereign capacity, thank you all delegates for that heated discussion. The draft chairman's statement in its entirety has been debated on from the top to the bottom, the last operative clause, with certain clauses being escalated and certain clauses being stricken. The chairman would now like to, before ending this meeting, call upon delegates to make final remarks on this draft chairman's statement. The chair would recognize it, for the sake of time, 2 delegates to make their closing remarks. Or 1 delegate to make their closing remark. The Minister for Timor-Leste has been recognized.
Thank you, Chair, for your recognition. Honorable Chairman, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, this delegate would like to show our utmost appreciation and your integrity to be the chairman of this ASEAN meeting. And we would like this delegate would also like to show us appreciation to our esteemed member state today for your support and belief in Timor-Leste efforts and potential to join this delightful meeting today in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. As an observer state, Timor has learned a lot from Mr. Chairman and also all perspective of the ASEAN meeting of today. Lastly, Timor would also like to show support to the next chairman of the Philippines. The Timor would like to wish Philippines good luck, and we are looking forward to the next meeting in Manila. Thank you. Would like to yield the floor back to Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, the Minister for Timor-Leste. We have now reached the end of the 9th ASEAN Ministerial Meeting on Drug Matters. The Chair would now like to state its closing remarks. Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this important discussion, we want to reiterate Malaysia's unwavering commitment to combating drug trafficking within our region. The challenges we face are significant, but they are not insurmountable. ASEAN is also significant. Through our collective efforts, we can make a substantial impact. Let us move forward with determination and cooperation, ensuring that our actions today have paved the way for a safer, more secure tomorrow. Together, we can achieve a drug-free ASEAN. Seeing that there are no further remarks, this chairman would now like to adjourn, consider this meeting officially adjourned, so ordered. Terima kasih. Oh. The chair would now like to again consider this meeting adjourned. Terima kasih banyak.